Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Mr. Johan. How are you?
Nice to see you, Mr. Tabish.
Nice seeing you as well. This is Mr. Johan. He's the head of humanities, and he teaches ICT and business studies to Cambridge and GED and in ABQ, SEEB International, Muscat, Oman. Because I have to tell all this because our friends are in different other countries. Okay, Mr. Johan. This broadcast is called The Speak. I started this series this year. I'm exploring different biographies, and part of this channel has got Urdu biographies, like done for my own countrymen, and part of it is for those South African and my Scottish friend and others, those who are doing it in English. And I cover the biography starting from the birth and the school life and college life and main events of the life. I don't go deep in the details of relationships and just superficially, and then we come to the present time. Sometimes it takes longer time, sometimes it finishes quite quickly. Okay, we start with the first thing. First thing first is your name.
Okay, I'm Johan Labuschangne, and I was born in a very small town in South Africa.
Okay. Okay, interestingly, when I read your name, it was starting, it sounded to me John, and everybody was pronouncing it Johan. So,
okay, in our Afrikaans language, it is a name that's coming from the Bible, Johannes, and that's where the A comes in. If you translate it to the English, it is John without the A. So, because my mother tongue is Afrikaans, that is where the Johan is coming from.
Okay. Oh, great. And your second name, I couldn't pick it. What was it?
No, it's a proper German surname, Labuschangne. So
Labuschagne.
yes, that is quite the right pronunciation of the surname. Okay. And it's quite a difficult one to spell as well.
Oh, really? Two of my cousins are there in Germany. One is living there for a long time, maybe 15 or 20 years now. Other is studying nowadays, only for studies. Anyway, he may know these names now.
Yeah, by being there in the country.
Being there. So you were born in South Africa?
Yes, I was born there in a very small town called Winburg.
Okay.
And then I started my school career also in that small town.
Okay.
So I'm used to all the small towns.
We won't go that fast. We won't go to the career without finishing the school life. Okay. So what is the town like? How is it called? A small town? Why is it not big?
It's more a farmer community. So the town was there because of the farmers around. So it was like you had the basics. It was a school, post office, and a small little shop, but it was mainly farmers that.
So what is the population you're expecting? Like?
No, it was not even 1,000 people that stayed inside the town. So it was
everybody
really
knew everybody.
Yes, it was one of those. So it's like everyone knew who is doing what, when, and where.
And was it a positive thing for yourself growing up there?
Yeah, I think it was nice because at night time you could have gone where you want to go, and it's like the safety aspect was also more because South Africa, you have a big safety concern. So our parents did not worry about us playing till what time at night because we were all around the house, and so we had a lot of friends. So everyone was friends. So that also made it.
So if we cover the area, did you have to walk like more than 5 or 10 minutes to go across the city, the town?
Just I won't say it's more than 10 minutes.
Okay, smaller than 10 minutes.
Yeah, because in the mornings we took our bikes to school, and it's like there was not like cars and stuff. It's like you took your cycle, you went to school, came back, and.
Okay. Do you remember going to school? What age were you? 5, 7?
No, we started school in our first year. You started at 6, so you turned 7 in your grade 1 year.
Grade 1. Is it still called grade 1, or it used to call sub 1, sub 2 something?
Yeah, we were called sub A when we started school, and then it moved to
sub C,
sub B, and then standard 1, standard 2.
Okay, sub has got only A and B.
Yes, A and B.
Okay.
And then it moved to grade 1, 2 and
Until
3.
10 or 12?
For grades was till grade 12,
Grade
but
12.
standards was only till standard 10.
Okay. Standard 10, and then you have grade 11 and 12. Is that it?
No, so
No.
it's sub A and sub B was grade 1 and grade 2.
Okay, okay. You're counting that way.
Yes.
Okay. So, the school was in the town? Same town?
Yeah, it was a small little school that
Okay.
we were like 10, 12 learners in one class.
Okay.
So it also made it a lot of personal contact that
So
you
we
had.
can say that teachers heaven.
Yeah.
Like not many students to teach.
Yeah, no, it was nice and small.
Yeah, okay. And do you remember going there first time ever?
No, that's a bit far way back. I can't, It's like those first 2 or 3 years, it's like, it's memories that you see on photos, but
Yeah.
recalling what happened in those first few years is...
Because the traditional thing is, like as a tradition, children cry going to the first day. And as I was interviewing the other friend of our, Mr. Kenny, he said that his mom lied to him that she will be back very soon. And she came very late. Do you remember anything like that?
I think it was different because the school was so small and we knew who our teachers in sub A and sub B was. Like, it was more like you're going to your
Another
friend's house and
all your friends are there and same age.
yeah, it's the same age, so it's like
Yeah.
it wasn't a difference in going to school or being at home
Yeah.
because we all know each other and we were more like house friends. So I can't remember I was ever sad going to school.
Yeah. Okay. About like anything, any friend from that class, first class, sub A?
When I started school, our neighbors, we were like played over like every day because we were all big in sport and loved sport. And it's like, for the first bit that I was in that school, we were friends and then we moved away. But we met up after school again and we shared a flat. So it's like, it is friends that you made for life. So we still have contact and we still...
Very long time afterwards, like sub A and then after sharing a flat afterwards. Oh my God, that's amazing. And sub A and sub B, are any events or were they eventful or something, everything normal was happening?
I think it was still normal. It's like... If
Just like
I'm
a
thinking
normal school?
back to my first 2 years, it was like we had all the opportunities to grow. It's like we still grew up in those days where it's like you get back home and you go outside, you go and play, and you are with your friends, you busy playing in the street. It depends on what sport is happening in that season. So it was all rugby, it was cricket, or it was golf, or it was tennis. So it's like there was always competitions between our friends going on there in the street, and because there was also not a lot of traffic, so it's like the whole street was ours where we played. All I can remember is like my dad and them always complaining that I have to replace windows the whole time because there was a lot of cricket balls going through the windows and stuff.
Oh my God.
But I think for them it was also like they're not inside. So in those days there was not TV and cell phones, and so you had to keep yourself busy. So for them to see us, they just went outside, called us in, and so yeah, that was the good ways of still growing up.
Yeah, very, very good. How about rugby? Do many people play rugby in South Africa?
Yeah, that's our two main sports, especially in our Afrikaans culture. It's like the first bit of the season, you start with cricket and you go over to rugby, and then the last bit of the season, the cricket starts again. So you have your two main sports, and then in between you'll do a bit of athletics, swimming, tennis.
Good. In my country, like if I compare, like we are only cricket nation. That's it. Though our national game is hockey, we used to do very well in hockey, but recently it is just cricket. That's it. Anyway, so sub A, sub B, any naughty things you remember doing, or any incident happening, any accident, God forbid, happened, and you still remember? Any teacher?
Yes, I'm trying to think back. It's like in those days, because we were so close, more like a family, it's like you did not even think about it. It's like we just had the joy of having your friends around the whole afternoon, going back to school, being with them. It's like it was more like family than really trying to be naughty.
So were you growing up alone in the family, or you had siblings?
I had one sibling, my brother. He's 2 years younger than me.
Okay.
And he also attended the same school. So, and they were also a very small class.
Yeah.
So it's like his friends was my friends, and his
Okay,
my friends was his. So
Okay.
and I think because we were so, our main thing was sport. It's like we couldn't wait in the afternoons to. So I don't really think there was time to think about being naughty, doing stuff that was.
Yeah.
And we did not even know about it because we grew up in such a small community that we were like surfaced away from anything that was
so
not
which
working
one
out.
do you think is the naughtier, you or your younger one?
I think he is the one that will take more chances.
Okay.
So he will explore and make sure that he knows what's going on.
Because 2 year gap is not such a big gap, and there are chances that either one may be bullying the other one. Okay. So was it happening in your family?
I think he was more the bully because he's more the stronger personality. He's more the extrovert going out, and he's the harder one between us. So that's why he's
and
also.
who was the Ep08 for the father and mother?
I don't know.
Was it a big deal?
It wasn't a big deal in our family.
Yeah.
I think because it was only us, and but our whole family is extremely small.
Yeah. Okay.
Because we grew up, I have one cousin and one far-off cousin, so it's like we're an extremely small family.
Okay. So within the cousin, there are 4 people.
Yeah.
One cousin, one far-off cousin, 2 of you.
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay. And do you have more uncles and aunts? No.
Yeah, I have on the one side because my dad has one brother and my dad has one sister and my mum has one brother. So, and they only have one child each. So it's like we really close. So our celebrations, if we get together, it's very small because
5, 6 people.
Yes. So our family is really, really small.
Okay. Okay. And do you think there are advantages to it?
Yeah, because it's so much easier if we are going away to have everyone there. It's not a big mission organizing. It's like it's on the phone, getting them, and
everybody's
we're very
ready.
close.
Yeah. And do you feel any disadvantage of having a very small family?
No, I won't
Not
say
many
it.
choices of cousin, or not many choices of homes to visit.
I wouldn't say it's a disadvantage. I think it's more an advantage because we are extremely close. It's like they feel more like my closest family. They feel like more like my sister and brother than really being.
And have you been told by other families or friends or neighbors why your family is too small, or they were small families as well?
I think most of our families that grew up there were small families. I think
I have 4 siblings, 3 brothers and a sister, but my father had 7 siblings. My mom had 8 siblings, and their sons and daughters. Everybody had average 4 or 5 kids in the family. So when I count my cousins from my father's side, about 25, 30.
Yeah, that is a lot.
And my mother's side also, there are about 20. Like when we combine all of them, we are making about 50 or above.
Yeah, but then you probably spread out all over as well.
All over Pakistan, even in the world. Like a lot of people are in America, some are in, as I told you, one in Germany and different places now, like that. But that's not enough. Like we had my mom's, like my granny's cousins, or my grandfather's brothers, and then their kids and their kids' kids. Very huge family, very, very huge family. And this is how it is. Okay, so sub A, sub B is gone, standard 1, Is it the same school or you switched to the school?
In standard 2, we moved to also a very small town, like 50 kilometers away. My dad got a new job in a bank, so we just moved from one very small town. It feels like we just moved across the road into another very small town, but and that's where I started my standard 2 or grade 4, as they call it these days. And that's where I was probably bold, was in that school.
Okay. And you stayed in that school for until the end?
Yeah, till the end.
Until standard 10?
Yes, standard 10, like they say in the old days. So I matriculated in that school.
Okay. And the number of students in the class were small, still small going on?
Yes, we started on like 15 or 16, and in our final year we were only 12, 10 boys and 2 girls.
Okay.
So
10 boys and 2 girls, that's not a good proportion.
Yeah, that was our final class that we matriculated with. So it was also extremely small and...
Okay. So it must be very easy to catch up with all of them, 12 people like from standard 10?
But most of our friends all moved abroad. There's not a lot of people that stayed behind in South Africa.
But you know, the blessing of Facebook and WhatsApp has brought so many people closer.
Yeah, it is now. But I think also after school you move on. Everyone goes into their careers and your interests are changing and it's not the same anymore because...
For example, two of my friends gathered a lot of our grade 10 students, fellows, you know, on a WhatsApp group. I remember we had 60 students in 2 sections, section A and section B, 30 each. And in that WhatsApp group, there are about 35. And active members are still 4 or 5. Others are just receiving the WhatsApp messages, hello, hi thing, and that's it. But out of 60, 35, and then proportion is going lower and percentage is going lower and lower. It's like that.
Yeah, I just think we just moved on and it's like different interests, different countries. Because at our 10-year reunion, everyone was there except one. But then thereafter, it was like the big move abroad. And from there on, we still have contact on Facebook and we still send messages on birthdays.
New Year or birthday or Christmas.
But it's like an indirect message that you don't even reply to. It's not like, what you doing, how's it going, it's just happy birthday, have a great day. That is the way that we communicate now these days.
Yeah, it happens. Okay, from standard 10, you're moving to a professional college or university?
We went to university.
University?
Yes.
And was it nearby?
Or we grew up in a central part of South Africa. Tennis and Winburg was very close to Bloemfontein.
Okay.
And there's still a good university, the University of the Free State.
Okay.
So went to the university to study.
And so what did you major in?
I studied to become an accountant.
Okay.
That was the first plan. It was a dream, but as you go on...
of course, you keep exploring your options, Yeah,
you keep on exploring and then you notice, and it's like when I got into my 3rd year, just before I finished my degree, it was, I'll finish what I'm currently doing, but I can't see myself doing this for the rest of my life. I don't want to go and sit behind a table, work with numbers all day. Yeah, money is great.
But that doesn't guarantee that the accountant will get all the money.
Yeah, so then in my 4th year, I still went on with my honors, did all my subjects, did good grades, but then I realized that is not what I want to do. So I'm not going to go on becoming a full CA and then I applied to different schools to see if that is not more. But then I always had the option of falling back on.
Of course.
So I first finished my studies. I didn't just change there. Then otherwise you're wasting 4 years of your life.
Time and energy and money, of course. Okay. So were you a bright student all your school life and university life? Bright means the top scorers?
I won't say bright, I was a hard worker.
Okay.
I had to work hard for what I achieved.
Okay.
But I was one of those that did not go to bed if I wasn't 100% happy on
good.
what I had to study, and
Okay.
I did not like getting the conflict the next morning in class. Why didn't you do your homework? So I was one of those dedicated
everything
people
in time
and yes, so I will say I achieved
You achieved.
high marks
achieved.
in my subjects. So I'm probably one of those.
Any of those subjects during the school life again, like that you did not like much?
It
You
was
said why
sciences
did that?
because everyone said in grade 10, because we only chose subjects in grade 10, you have to take physics, you have to take chemistry
Everything
and
until
bio.
grade 9,
Yeah, that
7,
is, you can't go and study if you don't have those. And I hated sciences. That was not my cup of tea. So it's
That's
like,
the point.
so I tried, and it took me a lot of effort to pass, but looking back, it's like there is different options, but your parents also believed it's like you have to do it because you can't go and study without those subjects.
Yeah, because sciences, like you were right to say that it wasn't your cup of tea, because it's nothing wrong in the subject, it's you. Like whether you are comfortable with something or you have this interest in you, of course you can go for it. It's not everybody. Every subject is not for everybody. Like I'm not very good at maths, and I struggled a lot in my school life in maths. I know that. So since I acknowledge it, so I never went for the maths subject. Anyway, so in university, after after studying your accountancy, you switched from university to another school, professional college?
No, I stayed at uni for the 4 years. And in South Africa, if you apply to be a teacher, you do not have to have the PGCE or teacher's diploma. You can, with a 4-year degree,
graduation degree,
yeah, you can go to any school that you wanted. So I finished my 4 years, and it was 4 good years that I had at varsity. It was that
good years in what
independence,
terms? Like
the independence growing up. Because of
you were no more with your parents now?
No. So I
in a
stayed,
hostel or outside?
No, we stayed outside.
Okay.
But also the idea of growing up and being more independent, because we were also protected in this small environment where we grew up. So now it gave us the opportunity of what is actually going on in the outside world.
Yeah. And that was the first time that you were with the strangers all around you. Not many people you knew, those are walking beside you or living next to you, right?
Yeah, and going into class at first day and there's like 400 students sitting there.
And you're one of them.
One of the 400. Then you notice it's like there's no more personal attention. Now it's all up to you if you are going to make it work.
Yeah.
But then you also quickly meet up with nice people that you form your group, and it's like you form your own study groups and your own friend circle.
And then you're in your comfort zone with those people.
Yes.
And then you don't have to worry about rest of the people all around you. Yeah, it is the way of exploring. And it happens like some people take very short time accommodating or making a smaller group. And some people just keep struggling all their lives.
Yeah, and I think sport is also contributing a lot, because on the sports field, you meet so many people that is also in your group, and it's more your...
And then you have to coordinate with them. And then you're discussing the match strategies and everything. So of course, it works a lot.
Yeah, and it's more your kind of people that you are handling, going around. So that's where I made most of my friends at varsity as well, was because of sport.
Yeah,
and sport made us quite a nice group. And I don't know, sport, that team that you form, doesn't matter if you play cricket or golf.
Yeah.
And that helped me a lot, making friends and settling into varsity as well.
Good. And any teacher that you remember that gave you a biggest lifetime impression, any inspiration?
I think if I go back to, it would have been my homeroom teacher that we had because I also like being part of events and organizing and planning, and she was in charge in the school as well. So, and she helped me a lot in my way of getting confidence in standing up, standing in front of a group of people, doing interviews, so I think she's still teaching. She's now in East London and a school, so our contact is also like only on Facebook, that we still have contact. So yeah, she gave me a good way of giving myself this confidence. I think that's also the reason why I wanted to go in teaching. It's like,
since you mentioned these stage activities, interviews, so what kind of activities were you involved in the school? Like
in grade 10 we started, that was part of our class fundraiser. We did a whole drama set that we did for a period of a month, where you had to practice for almost a year and we toured with this, how do you say, drama group, and we went to different schools where we performed. And
oh wow, how was it?
It was quite nerve-wracking that first bit. If that curtains opens and you stand there on that stage and you have to remember all those words that you
not
learn,
just words, actions as well,
and all the actions where you had to go. I can still remember that one day we were on a different stage, and on one of the tables there was like a candle, but one of my position or actions that I had to do was I had to go and stand on a table and I had to shout out to the world about I don't know what, but I never saw this candle going up and up, and everyone is laughing, and this is the serious part in this drama that we're doing. It's like, and everyone is laughing, and it's like, I can't understand why you're laughing. And when I looked down, it was like, this candle is very close in burning.
Oh my God.
So we had a lot of fun, and that also gave me a lot of confidence in talking in front of people, going around.
And going to different schools, of course.
Yes.
And of course, any public speaking you did besides acting and performing?
No, we did, because it was a small school, there was no public speaking or debating. The first contact that I got to that part was when I started my teaching career, but I wasn't involved in it. But in our small school, we did not even know what debating or public speaking or...
Okay. This drama thing, and you performed in about 4 schools, 5 schools, 10?
Yes, now I
How many
can't.
performances?
No, there was a lot of performances. It was one of the set plays that the grade 12s had to do. So we took the book, it was Afrikaans set, Potloodief and the Engel. Yes, so it was part of the syllabus. So we took the opportunity of, it's a nice fundraiser because everyone has to do the set, and now there's someone performing it.
Was it like the same play, what if your group was doing it and there was another school also doing the same for the same purpose? Was it?
Yeah, all the schools had to do that specific book. So it was a little play book, and it was part of the syllabus for your grade 12 Afrikaans mark. So it's like everyone had to do it.
And while your group was moving around to different schools, was any other group moving around?
No, no one took that initiative because
that far.
Yeah, because it's a lot of work doing a play.
Of course. Studying is something else. Being in the classroom and explaining or group reading is something else than performing it.
Yeah, no, to study all those words. I still can't believe how I got it to remember all those words.
Do you still remember any of it?
No, it was way back when.
Way back. Okay, and about the play thing, never you thought that why don't you continue the same profession?
I don't think my life is being on the stage. But I think that's where my interest in teaching, being in front of kids, being the entertainer in a smaller way, but where you are more in control. So I think that's where my interest in teaching became. It's like, yes, I like being in front of people, but not going every night, going to study words and There's more like doing the same thing over and over, where teaching is every situation is completely different.
What if you had taken this profession? Were you expecting that you might have got an Oscar by now?
No, I'm not that performer. I'm way too more to the side of an introvert than.
Okay, okay. And like, for example, just imagine that if you were still an actor, which movie you might have got, the recent ones?
Just what I'm currently watching is more documentaries. So the last documentary I watched was on Spotify, so it's probably, I think, not movies. I'll be more in a documentary, telling a story, representing someone else's life. That will be more my scene than
Your scene. Yeah,
being the hero here in a movie. And
okay. So there was no prerequisite for PGCE or teaching, and you have just finished your university, so you went for a job straight.
yeah, so I applied to a government school. That was the easiest way to get in. And then when I got into my first opportunity job, I enrolled in our online university in South Africa called UNISA.
Okay.
So I started immediately with my teaching diploma, the PGCSE. So I did it over a period of 2 years.
Okay.
So I got my diploma because you can't get employed permanently by government if you don't have the
If you
diploma.
don't have one,
but
right.
you can get into a position, but then you are blocked by only being in government body positions.
Okay. Okay. And you went to teach in the government school. Do you remember the grade you started with?
It was more the same as you did from grade 8 to grade 12.
Okay.
Where I started there, I started doing mathematics and accounting. So
How was it?
completely the opposite what I'm doing now. So I don't know where I ended now up in the ICT world. Now accounting is my forte. That's what I studied. And
so, by chance, do you remember your first time going in front of the classroom?
yeah, it's quite weird because the guy that I'm staying with here, he was in my first lesson that he was in a grade 12 class, Gustav. So
As a student?
As a student. And they were quite a big class because in South Africa, in the government schools, your classes was between 35 and 40 in a class. So you had much bigger classes. Yeah. So I can still remember that first day when I got into the class and he was sitting there at the back. And now we're sharing a flat here in Muscat. So it's quite a small world what we're living in.
It is. So you taught them first day you started teaching them, or you started with the normal talking, or?
Yeah, my idea of where I applied to schools was also I want to get involved in the sport. And the school where I got involved was quite good in cricket and rugby. So, so from the start, it's like accounting is like a second language that I speak. So I really enjoy accounting. Accounting is like, that is what I think teaching is all about, but you don't have the opportunity here. So it was easy just going on there, and where I stopped at university just to take the next step in the class. But the first 2 years was difficult.
Did you face a lot of disciplinary issues from the students or parents?
Especially the students, because you are this young guy coming from varsity.
Straight from the university.
Yeah, you're not even 22, and now you're standing in front of 40 students that most of them are
15 or 16 at least, age?
18 turning 19.
18 turning 19.
So they're almost your age,
Yeah.
and some of them are looking older than what you are. So it was difficult. That first few years was difficult finding your feet because we all came from a very small school community, and now you moved into a massive school. So discipline was a massive issue to handle.
How were you handling it?
No, it was difficult in the beginning to get them to work because they feel like, why must I do anything in this class? And if you are a new teacher, you also get the lower classes, the kids that's not there to work. So it is quite a challenge. But then you overcome. It's like you set out control measures on how and what, but at first bit was difficult.
How long did you stay there in that job?
I was almost 10 years.
10 years?
Yes.
Oh my God. Same place or you moved, transferred?
No, same school, so I did it for 10 years. But then...
So if we look at the timeline, like it is 80s now or 90s now?
No, 2000, yeah. So I was born 1982.
Okay.
I was matric 2000, started in 2005. So yeah, 2005 to 2014.
Okay.
I was in this government school. Yes. But it also...
Meanwhile, you finished your PGCE?
Yes.
Any other studies you did meanwhile?
And then I did at Boston University a sports management course as well. Because that was the field that I was working in, and being part of provincial teams there, you had to do your sport management as well. Okay. So I did a sport management also through an online college in South Africa.
Okay.
So just to get yourself on par so that you're not blocked if you want to take the next opportunity. But then government influence in the school made it very difficult.
It does. Not just your place, it's everywhere.
Yeah, so in 2014, it was like, you could not, it's like they just send more and more and more. And it's like later on, there's no space for yourself in the classroom. And the ways of where our academic standard went, because we moved from the one system into the next system, then an update on the system.
God.
So
too many systems coming up, followed by...
Yes, and it's like, there was no purpose anymore on what you were teaching. So
and that was the time that you switched the job within South Africa or out of the country?
No, then I was still happy in South Africa. I was close to my friends and my family was there, and South Africa is a good place to stay.
Right.
Then the option was going into a private school, but then moving to a complete different curriculum. Okay. And then I heard about Cambridge. And in 2014, there was not a lot of schools in South Africa that followed the Cambridge curriculum. Okay. So it was like a handful around the country. And then I saw a post, it was in Greytown, it's close to Durban. It's also a small town. And then I knew that is where I grew up. That is, I have to go back there. Okay. And I followed the Cambridge curriculum.
How long?
They started like in 1997. So it was already 8 years that I are following the curriculum. So I knew that is the move that I had to make. It's away from...
So in 2014, you moved to this place?
Yes.
And you were teaching again accounting?
Yes, so it was accounting and then business.
Business. This is the first time you started teaching business.
Yeah, so that's... I started in the previous school also business in between and did a bit of economics.
Yeah.
It all falls in. And then my two main subjects there was accountancy and business. Where I did the AS, A-level, and then a bit of IG, where the timetable did not fit in. Because in a small school, it's like you have to teach.
You have to teach, yeah. You can't just sit. Okay. And like, these are your two jobs, like first job and second job. Did you do anything else besides these two jobs?
While I was in Kimberley, one of those things was the underprivileged schools, the schools that really struggled.
Okay.
It was always nice giving back to them. It's like, so I was also part of the government system, the education system, where I was teaching at those schools in the afternoons and then over Saturdays, just to uplift them as well, because most of those schools did not even have teachers, or if they had a teacher in the more core subjects like mathematics, accounting, and it was like a student that just finished matric and they were the teacher in that class. So they did not have any quality education. So that was one of the things that...
So that is government initiative for this purpose?
Yeah, so and I was involved and...
Were you paid for it or was it voluntary?
No, we got paid for it, but it took a lot of your time. And it was not in the best environment where you had to go and teach.
Uh-huh.
You went into the townships.
Okay.
And it's like you got to places where it's like you
never
can
want
see
to
there
go-
is a classroom, but it does not look like a classroom. If you go in there, it's like you get a few things that's hanging there, and it's like one or two chairs that's still suitable to sit on. So that was one of the initiatives that I really enjoy doing. It's like,
How long did you continue while you were in the government school? Only then?
yeah, I did it because when I moved to the Cambridge school, my second part was, because it was a challenge moving from our curriculum and there, I immediately applied to become an examiner.
Okay.
Just to get myself used to the system that we are going to use and what is going to be expected of me, and also to get into a circle of experts.
Yeah.
Because it's very difficult to teach in a field and you're not an expert in the field. And the nice part of being part of the examiners group is you made so many contacts in different parts of the world.
Yeah, of course.
And the one lady that was extremely strict in the marking process, that's where I learned how to teach business and how to do business. And because she was doing it for 50 years, so it's like just listening to her, what she's doing, why she's saying so, that was probably the best learning curve that I had. So it's like in between the teaching, always you have to develop yourself as well.
Of course. You can't just be there and keep teaching without, refreshing yourself or without doing something new. I always believe in this thing. I keep doing these things myself. Okay. And is this the time that you have met any partner in your life?
I was in a relationship while I was in Kimberley and it didn't work out. So, and then second one, and I don't know, somewhere something will happen, and if it happens, it happens. But when I moved to Great Town, I think most of my friends here was older people. They were already married. So it's like, then you like almost out of the market, because wherever you go, it's like, you don't really meet people your age that is also single. So for the 5 years I was in Great Town, it's like we were such a nice friends group going around that did not even bother me being single. That's why I say if something happens, it will happen. It's not like I'm saying I will not get married.
There's a culture. It's not a culture actually, but it happens. Those who are married, they are always looking down at those who are not. And those who are married with kids will look down onto the ones who are married without kids.
Yeah, so, that is quite true.
It's universal. It happens everywhere. Like, mind your own business, let me be happy. I want to remain happy. So whatever way I feel being happy is happy. Okay. So from that private school, did you move to another school or move out of the country?
Then, when I moved away from Kimberley, one of my friends moved over here. We were teaching business for the same grades, and he said he's also not going to take on government anymore. So then he made a choice. He's not going to stay in South Africa. He wants to move over. So he came to MAN while I moved down to the private school. And while I was at a private school, he was always finding, why am I not coming here? Money is better, he has more opportunities. You do not have to do as much as what you're doing there. You'll have more weekends for yourself. But then it's like, I was still in that process of first getting the hang of Cambridge.
Good idea and good approach that you wanted to be used to of something before exploring new horizons.
Yeah, and then what happened is like 1 year I said, okay, I'll first come and visit to see if it's really as good as you said. And it is such an easy lifestyle and there is so much to do because we all like being outside, going to the beach, enjoying time on a boat, playing golf. And it's like when you got here, it's like that's all that you do the whole time here. So then I realized, okay, this is what I want. And then the friend that was teaching with him at Kuram Private School, his wife was working here at United Private School.
Private, okay.
And then she said, there's a position open, don't you want to come? So
that's how you got linked.
yeah, so I got linked and they phoned and did an interview.
And you got this job.
Yeah, so it was quite an easy transition. It's like the interview was so short, it's like 1 or 2 questions. No, we know enough of you, so.
Very good. Of course, when you're in the teaching and your CV starts speaking louder than you, and your grades that the students bring started speaking louder than yourself. So it happens then, and they just want to see for themselves like how you interact, and your CV and your reference helps you a lot. That's what I feel, that it works when you are not new. You are in the...
Yeah, especially if you go from one Cambridge school into the next, they can just trace what you did in the past.
Yeah, they can trace it easily. So, when you came here on the visit, did you come here on the visit first?
Yes, first
and
visit.
how long did you stay?
It was 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
And did you go for sightseeing and...
Yeah, most of our sightseeing was, we went out on a boat a lot. And we were on the beaches. And then the most, because our sightseeing is seeing how many golf courses he has to play. So we went to play all 4 golf courses, and we went, our biggest sightseeing part going out of Muscat was going to Sifa. So
okay. So interesting, like you never mentioned golf before. You were mentioning cricket and rugby.
Yeah,
how come, where did this golf start?
I think my dad was he also plays golf, and that was something that we did as a family. So golf was never a school sport. So as a family, me and my brother was always, if we didn't have any sports over a weekend, we played golf. So golf was, and in Tennyson, the golf course was also very close to where we stayed. So it was so simple to just go and play a quick 9 and come back.
Okay.
And there, that just stuck. It's like from there on, wherever we went on holiday.
Yeah, this is interesting because rugby and cricket and all these field sports require a lot more energy, a lot more power, a lot more strength, rather than golf. Golf, you like, as I see it, I never played it, as I see it, like you shoot and then you just keep walking, follow the ball. Where is it now? Yeah,
but golf is a very social sport. It's like, while you are on the golf course, it's like 5 hours that you with your partners that's playing. So it's a very social way of just being outdoors, having a good conversation, talking and laughing, making jokes. Yeah. Just forgetting about what you did the whole day at school.
I understand that, like not you, but older people get addicted to it. You just can't help living without.
Yeah, but it's the way of connecting to people.
Right.
Because I think the most of my friends I also met in Muscat is from playing golf.
Golf, okay.
That is quite a nice way of meeting new people, and it also helps you to meet people outside schools, because you are getting so connected to teachers, and now playing golf, it's like now you're getting people that is in different occupations and positions, so, and you're getting to meet people from different countries as well. Otherwise, you're so stuck with people from
same country,
and all teachers, and then it's like, what are you talking about the whole night? What you did in class and what you are going to do.
What's happening in the timetable.
Yes, that is the bad part if you don't get yourself out of that circle.
Yeah. Okay, about your visit. 2 weeks you stayed, you went sightseeing, fishing, boating, everything, and you went back. And when you came back on the job visa, was it the same Oman that you saw before? Yes. Or you got any cultural shock? No, now I have to work, it is different.
No, I think I was prepared, and so I did my research
before
on what to expect, and because most of my friends was here for 5 or 6 years, so I got used to what they were saying and how things was working and how the religion was, because in KZN, there's also a big Muslim community.
Yes.
So you get used to, I won't say used to, but you're more at ease on how to handle if it comes to the Ramadan part and the fasting part, and where if you are from the central part where it's more Christianity, I think then it will be a massive shock coming here on the religion part and how to adapt to all these things. But I think overall, the culture wasn't as big of a shock.
Oh, good. Good, because of all those friends around, and you never felt lonely here. You were already always with the friends, and you got new friends from the golf as well.
Yes.
Good.
So when I moved over here, I moved in with Gustav in a flat. So it's like, and most of us staying in the buildings also South Africans that I knew from before. So it's like, it felt like I moved from the one place in South Africa into the next place here in South Africa.
How very interesting. You were born in a small town, you lived in two small towns, and then you got into a small community here.
Yes, I think that attracts me. So,
and you're more comfortable in that.
Yeah, no.
Okay. How long did you stay in United Public?
And? Sorry?
In United Public School?
Was almost 3 years.
3 years. And then you applied for it here, or they called you?
No, I spoke to Johan. He was the business teacher, and he said he is moving away, and I had to move away because United Private Schools, the international curriculum, they only do till grade 10, and then they move only over to GED. So I had to challenge myself.
Good.
I like to challenge myself, and it's like, yes, I was teaching 4 different subjects on IG level, but it's like, I need the challenge of seeing how far I can take someone to reach their full potential. So, and I knew about, because I have friends in Sarawak as well that's working at ABQ, so I know what ABQ is all about.
Oh, good.
So then I applied, sent my CV, and it's all history.
Johan is the 3rd fellow who sat with me here on the same spot for the interview. His interview is on the channel, and it was wonderful talking to him, working with him as well. I really enjoyed working with him. He's still in Muscat, and though I'm sending him links, we are in touch, so somehow. He's a good fellow. So how did you find, like now you are in the 2nd school in Oman, okay? Schools in Oman and schools in South Africa. You taught there about 14, 15 years over there, and now you are here for about 6 years?
Yes.
Almost.
4 years, yes.
4 years, okay.
So,
not about the facilities, not about thing, like...
I think the biggest difference here is your weekends is yours. In South Africa, your weekend is you have to go somewhere with sport. So it's during we work in terms, not semesters. During the term, the chances that you are at home on a Saturday is 0, because there's always sport on a Saturday. So your weekend has been, and while in Kimberley, because we were quite a big sporting school as well, so you traveled quite a lot. So it's like one weekend you are on the road, next weekend you have your home fixture. So you traveled a lot. So it happened a lot that you play a game on a Saturday and a Sunday, and then Sunday afternoon, 5 o'clock, when you're done with the game, then you get in the bus, you have to drive back. Then you get back early Monday morning, you have to be back in school, and your normal week just goes on. Friday, it's the same thing happening. So it's like, it's a never ending.
And you continued it for about 10 years.
Yes. But it was nice because we were ranked in the top 10 in South Africa. So it's like,
at least you got recognition for
there was a lot of recognition, and the Pro 20s, school Pro 20 started, and our school really did well in the Pro 20. So it was like, there was that driven force of being better and better each year.
Yeah.
So it's like, you just wanted to do more and more and more. And then government's influences made it so difficult on your bursaries and stuff, because you had to get the best possible learning in school to stay up in the top 10 in.
Yeah, not the, like other activities are important, but they are not the essential or core activities. Anyway, how about the culture in Oman?
I think
I'm not asking you to compare it with South Africa, because every country is a different country. You can't compare one country with another country. So
I really enjoyed the way, because there's a big culture difference that to how we do stuff. But if you start to meet people and you go to their places over Ramadan, or while they invite you to functions, or it's nice to learn how they're doing stuff and why. And so I like the challenge. I like the change. So, and we have a lot of Omani friends as well.
how many things that do you like consciously note or point out for yourself that you have adopted from this culture? Anything you adopted, or you are still the same Johan that came here 4 years back?
I won't say I changed, but I adapted to, I know what I'm doing at home I can't do while I'm going out. I know if they invite me to, it's going to be completely different in the way that we are going to have fun tonight as what we'll do when our South Africans are going out. So yeah, you have to change and adapt to what they are doing. And we know if they're coming over to our place, what is accepted and what is not accepted. So,
since it was your first experience, was it your first experience working with Muslims, or you worked in South Africa as well?
No, in South Africa, mostly in the Greytown community, it was. So,
and how is it? Because I'm asking in the global background that people are discussing very openly about Islamophobia or things like that, you know. Everywhere there are one issue or the other.
It's all about respect. If you respect the other one, there is no problem. So some of my best friends were Muslims there. It's like, we know exactly what you can and what you can't. So, and we had a lot of kids, it's like going to one of their marriages and stuff. Yes, it's completely different, but it is their way of doing. So just respect their ways, and it's then very easy to go along.
Very, very good, very good. And had you experienced a month of Ramadan in South Africa, just like you experienced here?
No, I don't think we really give them
that
space in, but we knew at school it's like they're doing fasting. Have respect, don't eat in front of them, don't expect them to do sport.
How did you find the month of Ramadan here? Do you see that it is just nothing normal?
I think it is very normal. I don't think it's like, I thought it's going to be a more all closed down, but I think everything's still functioning. It's not like all the schools were still going on. But my biggest part for Ramadan in the 2 years was also, it was COVID. So it was lockdown, it was online teaching.
And besides, the month of Ramadan was coming in the summer break. So students were already off most often.
So I did not experience.
It was just last year that the month of Ramadan was in the middle of, in the end of the academic year.
Yeah, and it was like with COVID still. So it was still, we're still getting back into civilization after being at home for 2.5 years looking at a
civilization
laptop.
That's a big word for it.
Yes, I don't know how to say it, because we were teaching from our flats. We did not go anywhere. So for 2.5 years we did not teach from school. We all did it. So it's like from your
people are using the word normalize or normalizing after COVID. You're using the word civilization. It's a big word for it.
Yeah, but it was like, it was a hard time.
Coming back to civilization.
Yeah, just getting back to what we see as.
Do you see still some students are still wearing masks? They're just not getting rid of it. They're taking time, they're feeling shy. Even my son was feeling shy. If I take off my mask, what will people think? I said, nobody will think anything.
Yeah, but it was so difficult when I took off the mask. It's like, then you didn't recognize the learners that you had in your class. It's like, because I got to know most of them with masks on,
Yeah.
and when they removed their masks.
Interestingly, when I was teaching online classes here in ABQ, so I had very big shocks. I don't know, is it my mind or my eyes or my screen or the internet quality or video quality or what? Those who were looking fairer, in real life they were darker. Those who were looking taller were shorter, fatter, thinner. I don't know, so many. Believe me, so many shocks I received when I met them for the first time in the school, in person.
Yeah, it was difficult and they got back and they had their masks on. And that's how you got to know them, because online, most of them, cameras can't work, and then this,
Yeah.
so it's like you were talking to a blank screen, you didn't see a lot, and then suddenly you saw them with masks.
And then when you were teaching with the mask on, yourself and your students, it was so difficult, for me at least, like to understand their emotions, their feedback, because just through the eyes, try to understand if they are being annoyed or enjoying it or relaxed or what.
Yeah, emotional, and just to hear them, because some of them are talking so softly. Now there's a mask on, it's like you do not even, it was, and you were still scared of what happened, so you didn't want to get close to anyone, and it's like, so yeah, it was difficult, but I'm glad those
We are back to
2 years,
civilization.
those 2 years is done.
Done. They gave an aftershock this February. Remember February we
Yeah.
got a small lockdown thing?
Yeah, where
The
they,
schools went off.
yeah, for that short period of
Short
time.
period of 2 weeks or something. Okay. Tell me about your parents.
They're still alive, they still have a business.
You're lucky.
Yeah, so they still run a business in South Africa. So our deal is now in January they come and visit here,
Oh.
and then in June I'll go and visit there. Because the traveling
So are
takes.
they coming now?
Yeah, they're coming now after the school starts.
Okay.
They're coming to visit, because traveling takes quite a lot, because you have to travel to Joburg, so we have
Yeah.
a stop somewhere, Doha, Dubai, or others.
It's not a direct flight from here.
No, there's no direct flights. Then you get to Joburg, and then we're staying in the central part of South Africa.
Then you have to first go to the.
Yeah, so it's usually a 3 or 4 hour layover there nog in South Africa before you fly to your final destination. So it's more
So
than.
have they been visiting all these 4 years, or is it first time?
No, it will be no second time.
Second time.
Previously, COVID blocked any travel, so there was no traveling. So last year they were here, and now this year they're coming again. So it makes it easier for me as well,
Yeah.
because we want to be over our festive season. We want to be all there as a family.
Yeah.
But it's difficult with the business, because that's the busy time for
You are
them.
very adapting, and you adapted yourself with different places within South Africa and even in Oman. How about your parents when they came to Oman? Were they the same because you learned from them?
I think they're just happy, because they're on the age that they don't want to see a lot, do a lot. They just want to be there.
With you?
Yeah, that is their main idea. We must get back I must get back from school, we'll have a barbecue, we'll chat. They're not at that age where they want to go and explore and see more. They're more at that age of.
And they are not into it like getting grandparents,
Luckily,
or they push a lot.
now my brother is keeping that party.
Okay.
He has now 2 kids, one
okay.
daughter and one son.
Oh, wow.
So
And your brother is still in South Africa?
yeah.
Okay. What does he do? Is
He also has his own business. He also started in teaching, but
okay.
that did
Didn't
not
work
last long. He was not made to be a teacher.
Okay.
So then he started his own business in Bloom, and he's still going strong there.
Very, very good.
So
Very,
he's
very
doing like tiling and carpeting and laminated flooring,
Good.
more in the construction part.
Your own business is something else. Like it is something, a big thing I always admire. Though I don't have any other business, I just do a job. But I always admire doing a business. I also always fancy that one day I will do some business.
Yeah, but you have to be a hard person, and that's not
Yeah.
who I am.
Though I push my sons I tell them, like when they're growing up, they are going to schools, I'm telling them, don't do a job. Rather, offer jobs, give jobs. Don't do a job for yourself.
Yeah, that's where the money is. Unfortunately, that's where you make money. The harder you work, the more you earn. So the more we do here, you'll still earn your same salary at the end of the month.
Yeah,
you're not going to get a raise because you worked harder than what you were supposed to do.
Nothing will happen. Okay, we are in the end right now. I just want to know if you want to acknowledge people in your life, like friends or family, neighbors, relatives, or teachers, or any previous boss. Here's the time.
So I'll probably acknowledge my friends that I had, because they gave me the opportunity of moving around and always there to support, and to support. And otherwise, if he did not give me this opportunity of moving here, it's like I will still probably be in South Africa happy, but it's like in South Africa it is difficult because the money that you earn is not good.
Yeah. So what's the name of that friend?
And Gustav.
Gustav.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and it's nice having a good friend that you can move around with and have the same interests as what we have. It's like we all enjoy sport, we all enjoy going out and enjoying the outer life.
Good. Okay, Mr. Johan, we are finishing it here for today. For today, in a way that I'm compiling some questions, and I may sit with you again with those questions. And since this sitting was only biography, and we have come to today's date, like you are in this job now, but those questions will be more on some deep questions about life, general things, and not on biography. Those will be on topic. So probably I'll release the questions before sitting together, so that I can have your opinion on those. Okay.
Okay, no, that's perfect.
Nice been talking to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tabish.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So we finish here. I wish my son was here.